Next on Conversations with Clay.
That the metaverse, Facebook, whoever, and put out there in the streets. They said they got like something 10 million followers or subs. I don't know what the hell in like hours, a matter of hours. So it's supposed to be that new thing. The problem is Elon is claiming that Mark stole all his ideas because Mark hired a bunch of ex Twitter employees. So then y'all jumped on Threads yet? Threads app.
It's a billionaire beef.
I know, right? I didn't even think about that.
Well, jump in on it's what I've seen. People just on there giving a comment of what they thinking. Is that not what Twitter was? So Elon started charging people for blue checks. Elon started making sure that people that didn't have a Twitter couldn't see Twitter. So he kind of thrashed himself, and Mark Zuckerberg jumped in like, I was waiting on you, boy. Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting on that. It's a billionaire beef. That's all it is.
Billionaire beef.
I didn't have a Twitter, so I'm not jumping on no more apps to give up my thoughts for AI to take it, transform it, and put it out and and monetize it for themselves. I'm not doing that. That's it.
You know what? I had the craziest, and it was more like, you know, right before you go to sleep. I don't know about y'all, but my brain be on, it be going. So I'm thinking about 1,001 things when I should be asleep. So last night I'm just laying there and I'm thinking like, I really got nervous thinking about how AI is going to take over in the next 10, 15 years. And I think it was coming from like a small thought of, we was talking about fast food restaurants and how the Wendy's, KFC, they always mess up your order. And then they got added, like one of the KFC over here is like super hood. I ain't been to in 2 years because every time when I pulled up before, the lady in the drive-thru, she talking about she finna slide or beat up somebody that worked there, and she can't wait till after she take this order, they gonna throw hands. And I'm like, damn, I just wanted a 5-piece and some wedges. Never mind, I'm cool. So I drive off. So now I'm thinking, how is that gonna work when AI take over and they got the robots in there running your order and they mess it up? Like, I don't think they will have the emotional intelligence to figure something out when we have an issue like that. Like, you mess my order up. Like, every time I go to one of these fast food, they mess my order up and I got to spin back around and say, hey, I ordered this, y'all gave me this, and you didn't give me that. Like,
it'll work for them even more though, because customers always right, and AI ain't gonna get the attitude with you that Keisha or whoever in the window don't
you don't
get
do
because
Keisha
you
like
can't.
that.
I'm just saying. But if I'm telling you, these Gemini minds, I be up at night thinking the same things I was thinking the other day. Do people still go learn how to fix cars? Like, who gonna be doing all these things? Carpenters, roofers, all this stuff in the next 20 years, because right now this generation, like, to hell with that. We finna get our bag now. Like, we finna get it off of being infamous. We finna go stupid online. But nobody is going to these schools to do the small jobs that really keep the world going. We saw that when COVID hit. The trash people, them was the people, what they call them? Forgot the name that they gave them.
Yeah.
Those are the people that really count. People don't pay attention. But who's going to learn that now, or who's trying to do those things? So in the next 20 years, it has to be AI.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It will be. And it's like, remember what we were talking about with Walmart and how they're going to take one of the Walmarts and transform it with all robots soon? Like, I don't know which one it is, but they're going to put all robots in there and run it. I mean, I think it's inevitable. I don't know if it's going to need any type of emotional intelligence. I think it's just going to have to do some, I don't know. I feel like that part is, they'll figure it out. They'll be able to do it. I think the purpose of the robots would be to eliminate error, human error, for the most part. So I feel like whatever they're going to figure out, not to say I'm for AI and all of this. I think it's inevitable, to be honest with you, but I just think that that's probably the reason they're looking for more efficiency. They're looking for less, loss of revenue, et cetera. Yeah. And they feel like they could probably do it with robots.
Yeah. So I get that. But then there's just a layer of human that's in there that I don't think AI is gonna be able to pick up. Like, just think about how many times you had a customer service issue that shit. I call goddamn Expedia, Southwest Airlines, and I gotta go through all this damn computer crap to get to somebody. Like, I'd be so frustrated and I just hang up.
Mhm.
Just get me to who I need to talk to. I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said. What was that? Who do you want to speak to? I said customer service 20 times. Just get me to somebody. Get me to somebody. Like, that's what I'm saying, where I hope they develop it, because I know it's coming. So it's not going to happen. I hope they develop it to the point where we don't have these issues, because I get frustrated as hell just making a phone call to try to buy a ticket or whatever I'm doing. I don't have 20, 30 minutes.
Well, look at Spirit Airlines, look at Aldi's, look at Uber. It takes a lot to get a human being on the phone.
Yeah.
For all of them.
Yeah.
And they're still showing and proving that they're successful without having that type of emotional connection to the customer that I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that type of connection is not dying, but I don't think that they are as concerned with that, because they know that we need them more than they need us.
Especially when the real humans are starting to act just as ignorant and heartless as the robots. If the humans are the one causing the problems and having an emotionally imbalance and having zero emotional IQ, what do we need to submit to them for? They lost. We can't even work with them because they go crazy over everything. Like, we don't want to deal with y'all. Y'all tripping. So we just gonna give you a robot. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Are we still not gonna patronize them? Are people still not gonna go to KFC? Are they still not gonna go to Walmart?
No, they're still going.
My Walmart don't have no cashiers already. My Walmart has one cashier, maybe. And all the others is self-checkout, and they have one or two people watching whatever it is that they watch for the self-checkout. I don't have no cashiers at my Walmart.
But
no, that's true. I got like one lane open or two here. Yeah.
Same. And we got I got two Walmarts, two super Walmarts, if that's what you want to call them, within a 1.5 mile radius. But yeah. But if Walmart understood they're losing more money with the self-checkout than they was with the regular human people scanning for us.
No, because they're not paying employees. They're not paying insurance for these employees.
Right.
They're not paying workman's comp. They're not paying. So yeah, they taking a loss, but it ain't the loss they would take if they had a store full of employees.
Right.
People were still stealing with the employees.
Right. The employee packages is what's going to save them money. And additionally, they're capitalizing on this right now because look at what COVID did. It made everybody not want to even go in the store. People are online shopping. They're doing curbside. It's getting obsolete more and more. So I don't know that having the robots there is really going to deter people. If anything, it's probably going to turn out, like I said, like Uber, Spirit. If you have an issue, you got to call a number that calls a number that calls them to get to a person. And by that time, you're going to say, forget it. And they've still won.
So now I'm thinking like this has been a setup for a long ass time. Just think about it. You know what I'm saying? When we was kids, we was on the house phone talking all night. What you doing? You sleep? You know, I ain't sleepy. I'm sleeping. I ain't sleep. We did all that. But now we don't even talk on the phone. You still FaceTiming, but mostly everything is done through text or DMs. So we eliminating the conversation between us as humans to go straight to AI, like interaction, to like everything is done. I'm just going to place this order for all my groceries in Walmart and it's going to get delivered by a damn robot. And that's it. Like, that shit is scary. I don't know about y'all, but I'm like, man.
I remember when Trump, when he first got elected, he was like, they really not after me. They after you. And then regardless, I'm not saying Trump is or ain't or whatever. I'm not going to that.
Yeah.
But shit was booming. Okay. Money was circulating. The economy was moving. He like, they after you, me, because I'm pretty much straight. Soon as he got up out of there, we got to catch up what we were supposed to do this last. And what we have, COVID. You can go back 20 years and hear TED Talks about COVID hitting. They was just naming it different things. And You know, what's the abbreviation?
Yeah.
Certification of vaccination ID.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like nothing is coincidental.
Yeah.
It's just if it's gonna get
Absolutely not.
implemented at the right time, they know how humans think. They know that they could force our thinking into one direction or other. Well, most of us, those that don't think for themselves,
The
they can make
masses.
them think what they want to. Just 2020 alone changed our entire, just the way we move, and nobody's questioning it. Out of
Right.
what? Fear.
Out of fear, because we
All it
don't
took is
know.
fear.
Yeah, that you scare the hell out of us. You run it continuous on a news cycle. Everything we tap into is showing it. I ain't got no other choice but to leave it. I was having a conversation with my 14-year-old who I was like, hey, I'm gonna show you how to change the tire. I'm gonna show you how to change the oil. I'm gonna show you how to do these little things that you may need to do. And he was like, Dad, I don't need to know I don't need to know how to do any of that, because by the time I start driving, the cars are gonna be flying and they're gonna be I'm not gonna have to do none of that. And I was like,
And then they just dropped the first flying car last week in pre-orders.
It's inevitable, guys. I mean, how many times have I said it on this podcast? I think the world's coming to an end anyway. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not even, I wouldn't even say fear is the word. I feel like it's just, I don't know, call it giving up. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't want to live to be 100, be here anyway. I don't know.
but
I don't know if
where's
it's-
the go ahead.
I don't know if it's necessarily the end. I think it's like that one movie. If the people that's just gonna go with it, they just gonna go with it. And those that's not is gonna live on the outskirts of town, out in the country, still moving on their own time. They just gonna have to learn to grow their own foods. They gonna have to learn to do all of the people. There's people in the world, believe me, up in these mountains, up in the woods out here, these militias in Texas, they've been training for this kind of life their whole life. They just waiting for it to pop off. It's just
Probably.
us that's kind of going with the flow, like, well, what we can do nothing. Not understanding that if we would all just speak up at the same time and say no, we could stop all of it.
Well, that's part of our problem. One, we don't care because it's not hitting us directly in the face. Two, us as Black folks think everything is funny, so we don't really care. Like it's a key. Everything is fucking funny when it's really not funny. Like, come on, man, wake up and pay attention to what's going on around you. Like what you just said is it's a collective thing, and it's not just a Black people thing. It's a
Yes,
human
everybody.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a everybody
Right.
thing. It's not a race thing. It's a
Human thing.
human
Because
thing.
it's really out for human.
Right. And it's
Our
not an American
existence.
thing. It's not a European thing, African. It's all of us, because it's going to affect
But
all
we
of
can't
us.
even get on the same page as a collective. Like,
Facts.
it's just
But if you get other races to join in, we
who
don't
think
need
that
all
we're
of
not
us.
superior anyway, who think that we're beneath.
But they still want their freedoms. More and more of them are finding out that, hold up, they throwing us under the bus too.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Now
Yeah,
they starting
yeah,
to look
there's
around
some.
and say, wait a minute, it's not a race thing. They've been
Mhm.
playing us against each other, so we'll be distracted from what they really doing. They are
That
paying
part.
attention too.
That part.
So I was just telling me and my daughter was saying, what if everybody just woke up on the first, everybody in the United States, and said, guess what? We're not paying mortgage, rent, nothing today. No. Who coming to get y'all place? Who coming to collect y'all houses? Who coming
Yeah.
to take them apartments back? Who coming?
Yeah.
If everybody's on the same page.
Everybody, not just one race. Every race just say we tired. No, we done. We run
But-
this.
The Black Panther 2, the one that was it JB didn't see, we saw it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, was it not sending that message that you're talking about? That's what I felt from the movie, was that it was trying to bring all of the minorities together to say, something's not right. Who's
Something's
really the
fishy.
problem here? And I
It
was like,
was.
wow. Because I told
It
you, I
was.
walked out of the theater and the white dude was like, oh, you can go first. Go ahead. And it was like, okay, like it sparked something, I feel like, in that theater, like, oh, game on. You know what I mean? And I know it was just a movie, but movies can be very impactful for a lot of people. And if you got,
Yeah.
now you got Mexicans, you got Black people in the movie, and they're gonna introduce another one where it's like, oh, everybody's going into it together and fighting together. The colonizers, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
It's,
And they
it's-
play that race card a lot, but out here in Texas, until I be chilling with my rednecks. You hear me? We be in the country.
we
The
saw you square
two-step-
dancing.
We be out there. Hey,
We saw you.
hey. You know, so it really ain't with there are those out here, but more and more it's gonna come to the fact like it's really us against them. And who is them? That wizard behind the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. This
Right.
little bitty
Right.
nothing man with a whole bunch of money that got really no
Right.
power but
Right.
illusion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The illusion. The illusion.
The
The illusion
illusion,
is the
that's it.
power. It's the illusion is the power. Because America is broke, but the illusion is we got all the power.
And the illusion is we're free. So everybody kick in and laughing because they think, oh, we're the good country. There's nothing wrong with us not knowing that we are in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Yes.
I'm gonna slide somewhere else, but we all know our people from our hometown that we talk to, and we try to convince them, hey, leave the city. Just leave for a minute. Don't run to Vegas, because that's what all people from California run to Vegas and think they're moving away. You know what I'm saying? Even from Tacoma, I'm gonna just move to Vegas. I'm gonna move to Portland and think I'm gonna escape all the madness. No, leave
Move.
and explore, move. Whether that's from Tacoma to Virginia, from LA to goddamn Florida, whatever it is, leave and see something different. It's not that we talking down on you because we left and now we seen something different and we think we better than. No. When you start to get out of your comfort zone of Bakersfield, California, and this is all I see and this is all I know, and you go to I can't even think, Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, yeah. This is how Black people move and thrive and love each other and kick it and coexist with other people and other races. Damn, I didn't know. But now I see a little different. Now I can interact with people a little different. Now I can move a little different, do different things. I think a lot of us are stuck in a pigeonhole where all we know is this. So we are not trying to see anything past that, because this is all we know.
And if you think about it, go further than that. Well, for sure, Los Angeles, but I'm sure it's in every state, in every hood. It's people that don't leave they 4-block radius because they feel like if they step outside of them 4 blocks, their life is on the line. So not only are you not going to see another part of the United States, you don't even know what your full city entails because you can't go kick it across town. So you just watching TV and that's giving you an ideal of what everything is in the world because you don't move around.
Yeah. Or like I feel like Chicago and how so many people get killed in Chicago, like left and right. Like the crime rate is really high in certain parts of Chicago.
Right.
And then it's like people be like, and I'm guilty because I feel like I've said it before. Well, why are they still lit? Like, how could you still live there if you can't even walk to the corner store? If you can, and then I had a reality check, like, okay, well, economically, like, is it feasible for you to do so? Is it, what are the challenges that you experience to even get out of that situation? I don't know that I don't know, because I feel like if that was me and my kids, I would have to strip or something just to get up out of there. But I know that it's not that easy.
And it's brainwashing because if you look up right now, what's the top 10 cities of what's the top 10 murderous cities in the US? Chicago, not even on the list.
They're not?
No.
It's
No.
a
cities
mental
that you would-
game.
Guess what's on
Mhm.
there? Kansas City,
Tacoma.
Missouri on there.
Kansas City, and I know because I mean that's not even no
Tacoma's
cat.
on
Like,
there too.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like people be thinking, oh, let's go there, not knowing that's one of the top 10 cities, but they don't promote
Don't-
that. It's
don't
a
come here.
reason why they tell you about Chicago. It's a
Mhm.
reason why they promote Chirac. Yes, I'm sure it's killing there, just like it's killings in LA, but they're not even top 10.
Yeah.
it's
But
a
I still
narrative.
don't see how Tacoma's on that list.
But Tacoma been on there for a long time. Like we
Watch your mouth.
like just,
I'm just joking.
On the smoke. We got another shooter on the show. Her
Hey.
name is Coco. Her name is Coco, and she be having the strap on.
I don't think it's. I don't know that list. I need to look at the criteria for
You
getting
gonna be
that.
shocked.
information.
Go
You're gonna be
back
shocked.
to Cops when Cops was playing. Pierce County was on there damn near every week.
I do remember, but I don't know. I don't.
I used to watch it and be like, "Ooh, shit, I need to move." I stay. Oh, nope, time to
Right.
Y'all
Go.
stayed on there. Like,
I mean, yes, but I still
But-
feel like we was able to move and shake without
But
too much. I don't
the
know.
reason why
Cleveland, Ohio used to be over there all the time. Like
Cleveland, you don't put the B in there. Cleveland
Cleveland.
was on there.
So, that's
Yeah.
what happened when you let other people project to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you'll never think to go look at that. And then you end up moving to a city thinking it's peaceful and find out you're in the number 2 state and city of killers.
Yeah.
Right.
Because all the killers moved from LA to Tacoma to Seattle to now Vegas, now Texas, Houston, Dallas, everything in between. Hell, it's been a connection between California and Kansas City for a long ass time. So that's part of our problem. And then we got one coming from the West Coast, and then the rest coming from down south, from Georgia, Louisiana, tearing up shit. It is what it is.
And then mix that with pure immaturity, mix that with desperate situations and circumstances, and mix that with, just a lot of other influences. It's like you got a
Just, yeah.
recipe for some bullshit.
Disaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pure ignorance. Just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Whew. I don't even know what the hell we was talking about, but shit.
Yeah, take it there. No, let's rewind. What is that?
Hit that rewind button.
Is it just me? Or I think they already 3D printing all fast food. Because I don't care where I go. I freaking hate it. And I could be starving. And I'm like, what is wrong? Chick-fil-A was nasty the other day.
What?
So
Not
I
the
have-
Lord's chicken.
Yeah. Chick.
the
Mm.
Lord's chicken.
I've been
not
like
not
Chick-fil-A was
Jesus, not
for
Jesus
real.
Deluxe. Go ahead.
So I pretty much have come to the conclusion that fast food places is about to go out of business because I believe it in my mind. When I start seeing something and feeling something, next 2 to 3 years, it's the trend. It's just what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'd rather go sit at Applebee's and get they 2 for $10, whatever,
right. 2 for
than
20.
go to Jack in the Box or McDonald's. Or if you're gonna pay $20 for one combo at McDonald's, you
Right,
might as well go sit down at Chili's.
right.
True.
And these
True.
combos, something is not right. I don't care. They making it, something ain't right. They not making it out of the same stuff they was making it out of before. It's even
This is
worse. It was
true.
bad then, but it's worse now.
This
See,
is true.
I thought it was a regional thing because when I came here, I feel like I have not had any type of my normal fast food, meals that I'm like, oh, that one be hitting. No, not here. So I thought it was a regional thing. Like, okay, maybe Columbia is tripping. I don't know. But
It's not
every
hitting.
time I get
It's not
fast
hitting
food, it's garbage.
nowhere.
Jack and the
Unless they-
Crack. Go ahead. Yeah,
Unless they making it like a mom and pop's fish spot or
yeah.
like a mom and pop's restaurant where they actually right there making it, or a restaurant. Even the restaurants ain't great, but it's better than getting you a
To the fast
combo from
food.
KFC.
Yeah.
Something,
It-
and now all of a sudden they talking about this 3D chicken and making these usually they tell you after they already did it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
right,
just
right, right.
fact. So
Right.
if they telling us now, that's what we eating right now.
It's already been implemented. Yeah, because
It probably was implemented a long time ago. We just didn't know it.
Well, we
When
knew
they was
it.
saying,
We knew it because we was like, damn, this ain't tasting. Whatever. I'm just gonna throw it away and keep it moving.
when they was telling us we was out of wings, but we had all them chicken breasts.
Facts. Make it
What
make
the
sense.
hell?
Jesus.
The chicken come with all them parts. So
How we ain't got wings?
I know y'all trying to say that we eat all the wings and leave everything else, but so now it's more flat wings than anything else in the world.
Modified genetics, all that. Hey,
Modify, and that's all coming, and it's all
Yeah.
coming.
And it makes
then-
sense because they look at the little Recycle America. You go to
Yeah.
America's restaurants, to
Mhm.
end up in the American hospitals, to get prescribed American pharmaceuticals,
drugs,
to
yeah.
end up
Right.
in an American funeral home. And we just
Exactly.
gonna keep on recycling
You
y'all
gotta keep
ass.
going all the
'Cause
time.
it's
And also
be-
too, the soil. Like sometimes I be thinking to myself, yes, growing my food is the way to go. But then I'm like, but then y'all contaminate the soil and you do it. Like I watched some type of documentary a while back. Am I talking like it was
keep
some
going.
it was
Preach,
some
girl, preach,
documentary
preach,
and
preach.
this farmer had like a full like setup. Like he was growing all this and stuff started to be weird with his crops. And it was like a couple of lots down, something they were contaminating the soil and it was messing with his crops. And I'm like, come on, like you can't even grow stuff anymore. Like it's wild. I don't know.
Now that you're saying that, remember we was having all that farmer talk where they couldn't 2020. The farmers, they can't do they this, they can't do they that. We were seeing
Mhm.
people, we were seeing chemtrails every
Yep.
single day after.
Yep.
I don't really see them no more, but you were
Yeah.
seeing them. What the cows was dying out of the blue. This in ocean, all these fish and whales. They've been. You think that's
Yeah.
just
I
all this is
know.
coincidence, huh?
No, I think they just hitting the button and seeing. I always think it's some kind of test, some kind of they're running a test to see how we're gonna react to it. You know what I'm saying? And just to go back to what Kelly just said, it was people arguing back and forth about being a vegan versus being a meat eater. And the vegans was running with well, you a meat eater and you don't know what they put in your food and in the meat and this, that, and third, and this is how you get sick, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, hey, let's look at the veggies and the fruit you're eating. It's
Absolutely.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then to go further, you're growing it yourself. You got contaminated soil a block down. So is it
Mhm.
really organic? Is it really fresh and all that because you're growing it now that you know what you put? No, like it's the whole thing is tainted. It don't matter if you
And if you
vegan or
putting
not.
chemtrails in the sky, and then people waiting for rain so their crops will grow.
Right. And that's why we was talking about last time. It's just a never ending. I was thinking the other day, I was like, some people say don't even use Tide anymore. They say don't use Tide because it got such and such in it. Then they say don't drink purified water. Now, granted, all of this is all, I'm sure there's people in the world that knew this a long time ago. I mean, Dr. CB knew this a long time ago. But like at my age, my mama didn't know that in the 80s and the 90s that don't
Right.
drink purified water, don't do this, don't do that. So I'm already messed up. So we know I'm not, gonna be here till 100. But what I'm saying is that it just never fails. It's always something. And I feel like it's not even a test. I feel like it's a part of the overarching plan. You know what I mean?
I think they've
What's the
dumbed us
plan?
down where the test is not needed no more. They failed. The test has been failed, and they are going ahead with what they plan was.
They just implementing it.
It's just
Right.
implemented now. In the 60s and 70s, it was a test. That's when all this drugs hit and
Yeah.
breaking up families and making sure they don't pay attention. We just
God
the
damn it.
residue off that crack at this point.
God
Mhm.
damn it.
Right. It's probably like some type of people control. Maybe
Oh,
just
yeah,
wipe out certain generations that are woke or had a certain, so they could start running new tests on the new generations and start doing different things on the new ones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
that's
let's make
my mindset.
platforms. And let's make platforms so we can hear them talk. Because the ones that's trying to teach people, we want to hear what they talking about so we can counteract that.
Right.
Let's get
'Cause
them
you
to
got-
throw their thoughts online so we
Hey,
can counteract what they know.
Hey, if you reach this part of the episode, we is fist to get canceled because I'm not cutting it off right now. Fist to let these ladies talk because what's happening right now? Woo!
We still can't breathe.
Right. That part. And that
Everything
part.
is everything.
It's not an or, it's an and that part. Yep.
We
For
still
sure.
can't breathe.
For
COVID
sure.
or no COVID.
Right. And that's why
This-
I was saying, I don't think it's something where it's like, I don't care or people don't care. I think that there's so many infiltrators, if you will, to everything that it's like, okay, what do you combat first? Because you got 90 other things that you got to watch out for or do. You know, it's like what you were saying about the vegans versus the meat. Like, yeah, you could tell me till I'm blue in the face, I'm wrong for doing this. I'm wrong for, you shouldn't be drinking this. You shouldn't be eating that. Yes, but all of the other stuff that you're doing is going to get you caught up just like me in a different way. Like, you may have a couple of years on me because you're not eating chicken, or because you know, do something, but you still get your nails done, or you still, you know, using that talcum powder, or you still, you know, there's
you're still standing in front of the microwave while you're warming up your food. Like,
right. It's always something. And I think it's the plan. We're just going along because it's a part of the plan. And it's not that we want to. We just,
it's just what we know.
This is the part of the show that they gonna black out and make sure nobody see. Y'all want to hear the biggest secret? How you combat all this? Change the way you think. Even if you can't do nothing with nothing around you, when you change your mind, you change how you view things. Once you change how you view things, the world has no choice but to move in that way.
Mm-hmm.
You project your reality. No, you can't change everything. But when you're aware and you conscious of what you're doing, and you like, I'm doing this, but da-da-da-da, like you making your own thoughts. You're not using what they project to you. That's what changes things.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is change yourself.
Yep. And just to double down, she's not talking about a collective. I got to get 10 people to buy into what I'm thinking. Just you.
Mm-mm.
Just
one
you.
person.
That's it. Just you. If I think this way and I see this, all I think is evil and everything is bad and everything is negative, and that's all I'm gonna see. That's all I'm gonna project. But if
all I think is, no matter what, they can't win. That's it. Ain't nothing you can tell me. No matter what I see, no matter what they do, it's always gonna end up back swinging in a direction and hurting them. Yeah, it may hurt a little bit, but it's gonna kill them in the end. So no matter what happens around me, I know what the end is. This is great for me and my kind. And what I understand is, just like when we grow up, or now that we're able to talk to each other on the internet, we notice our mothers said the same things, even though we in different states. We did the same things in our homes. We all we all watched Saturday morning cartoons before so once one person started thinking another way, the way we are wired in the universe, another person will just have a thought. You don't even have to be there with them. And the next person will have a thought. Before you know it, you will have all these socially aware, conscious people. And you be like, how did they know? How did you know? I don't know how I know. I just know.
Yeah.
I just know.
I just know. So once you start with you, it's automatically gone. It has no choice but to go out and hit other people. Even if you're not doing it on purpose. It's gonna happen. That's universal law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't take nothing too serious. I see it happening. I don't, you know what I'm saying? When I know, and I don't get involved with it. But if not, and I trip, hey, players fall too. Still in the end, I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, players fuck up.
Players fuck up. You know, it's all right. It's okay to not do everything right. We're supposed to be here having a human experience.
Right.
The point is to learn how to live with your spiritual and your human and not get off balance. Learn how to balance it. Do it both.
With your spiritual and your ratchet.
And your natural. You here to live this experience. You here to do that. So to try to be, that's what happens to them leaders. They're trying not to show people their bad side or their shortcomings. Then they get knocked off their pedestal and it's like, oh, we back to square one. If everybody just start showing a gift, but also being human and having their issues while showing a gift, it'll make other people feel like, okay, well, I could express my gift. Just because I have this shortcoming or just because I don't have that, don't mean that I don't have this to add.
That's
you
the
get
problem.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Everybody expect whoever our leaders are to be perfect. They got to be 100% perfect.
And that's how they're able to kill them off.
Exactly. Like no, we're human at the end of the day. And I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, if you step up and you be the leader and you're doing some foul shit, like it's a pass. No. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna think like, or you're still human. Like, so you're gonna mess up, you're gonna make mistakes, your past is gonna be drug up, and then it's up to me to digest it and say, all right, he's still or she's still whoever they are, and I'm gonna still follow whatever they putting out because I get it. But we collectively don't get it because it's funny. Or it's easy just to see, I knew they wasn't perfect. I knew whatever they was talking about, they wasn't, that's not who they are. I knew they was on some bullshit, so F them.
At the end of the day, no, we don't want our pastors molesting our children, right?
Facts.
But you can't have pastors that have a sexual past and had fornication, because the people that went through the most has learned the most. They have the most life experience.
Mhm.
They can give you more. If you have no life experience, you have no knowledge. I don't care how, if you pure and you have never done anything, you can't teach me anything.
Mhm.
Facts.
Mhm.
Facts.
And for some reason, people don't put that in their mind. It's the people that went through the hardest of times that can sit down and give you the most game. And you be
Mhm.
like, wow.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that, because next week I'm bringing on my brother. He, forgive me, Rod, if I get your age wrong. He's in his 60s. I'm gonna say that. He's in his 60s and he has a story to tell.
Mm.
And he's been willing to jump on the podcast for a minute. There's no disrespect to him. I just been running and I didn't want to bring him on because I'm like, man, we be talking about some crazy shit. I ain't want to, he's a pastor now, but he has a story to tell that I want to bring him on and just let him talk. And it's not
Mhm.
gonna be, we ain't gotta, tighten up. We ain't gotta get scared, because
Right.
when he start talking, you're gonna be like, well, shit, you did all that? Well, goddamn, this motherfucker.
Those are the people I want to learn from. Like,
Is he
And
gonna-
he's,
period.
huh?
He's not joining the red room?
He got some red room stories.
Sorry.
Like, what?
When I
What people know how
exactly,
to
she went
figure
there.
this-
I didn't. She went there.
I got
Not me.
lost. Like,
Freak, you little freak. But
Since
he
Jay
no
Lee
no.
still can't come to the podcast, I was just wondering.
You can take him to the red room if you want to.
Oh
Whatever.
Lord.
No, he got some stories. He got some stories. He got some red room stories. He got some life stories. He got some experiences. But like, when I sit and listen to him, I'm just like, and you made it through all that?
Right.
Woo.
Right.
So yeah, no, I
There's
get it.
people out there like
I truly believe the people that's chosen on this earth has been through hell. You can only see heaven if you've been through hell.
Facts.
Like, how
Yeah.
else you gonna recognize it? You know what I'm saying? That's like, you can't see the light unless you've been in darkness.
Mm.
It
I think
takes
it's hell.
it takes both. You can't just live a pristine life. Why you think these people that's born with money kill themselves after the smallest little thing? But then here we are on ground zero in the military, basically at our front door, and we still outside keying and laughing like this shit is a joke, because
we
we
don't
didn't
know.
survive so much. We like, bring it on. We tired.
Right.
We gonna keep
Right.
I'm
laughing.
with it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now I want to, Kelly, I heard you kind of slide that in there. You said this, you think this is hell,
Yeah.
our version of it. Yeah.
I think this is a version of hell, and I think whatever life after this is where it's at. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not to say I'm ready to go now. I'm not saying
Right.
that. I'm just saying that the stuff that happens, I don't know. This can't be. This can't. No.
This can't
They
be
say
it.
live backwards is evil, or you know how they come with all these words that they turn around and they be like,
Yeah.
I used to have that. Yeah, you got the life and death. You flip it around, and
because
you
think
look-
about it, it's
yeah.
our flesh. It's only the flesh that causes you to
Right.
do everything in weakness. It's always the flesh. You always submitting to your flesh,
Mhm.
and that's life.
Mhm.
Without the flesh, you and your soul, you and your spirit, you in the ethers. So this has to be
Yeah.
hell, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you hear people who have like those close calls, and they recount what they felt or what they saw, and they're like pure happiness, pure this. But I'm not saying they're all right. I'm just saying a lot of their stories are the same. So, and
Yeah.
I've never gone, my heart never stopped. So I can't say they lying, you know what I mean? But like,
That part.
it's just,
And if
Yeah.
I was to take the Bible literally, if I was to take it like word for word, I would think if I was in heaven and I was a fallen star, I was fallen, where would I fall to?
Earth. Earth.
And how would I have to prove myself to get back to where I started?
mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening. This has been an A2I Media production.